Welcome to Real Rockford Files, for tales of the paranormal, supernatural, and the flat-out unbelievable. Without further ado, let's get into it. Deep in the Uinta Basin of northeastern Utah lies a roughly 512-acre ranch property, bordered by the Ute Indian Reservation, surrounded by rugged ridges, desert scrub, and wide-open night skies. This is Skinwalker Ranch, a place where legend, folklore, science, and unexplained converge. Here, over decades, the extraordinary has been claimed. Orbs of light that defy explanation, cattle found mutilated in ways no predator should manage, creatures apparently immune to bullets, and UFO-style lights hovering in the darkness. Whether you lean toward belief or demand hard proof, this is a story of that tension. A story of what happens when myth and modern technology meet terrain that perhaps refuses to be ignored. The name Skinwalker draws on Navajo legend of the Yinaldushi, witches or beings that transform into animals, break taboos, and access a world beyond the everyday. While the ranch lies on land more connected to the Ute tribe than Navajo, the folk memory of shape-shifting entities adds an eerie cultural undercurrent. In the 1950s and 1960s, the Uinta Basin became known for UFO sightings, strange lights in the sky, and unexplained animal deaths. But it was in the early 1990s that the property now called Skinwalker Ranch entered the modern paranormal spotlight. In 1994, Terry and Gwen Sherman purchased the property, then known as the Sherman Ranch, thinking that they were starting a quiet country life. Instead, they claimed a cascade of strange, escalating events. Among their reported experiences were cattle mutilations. The Shermans described animals found dead, their ears, eyes, udders, sex organs, and tongues removed with surgical precision, drained of blood, with no tracks or predator signs. Animals that were apparently immune to bullets. On one occasion, a huge wolf-like creature attacked a calf. After the Sherman's father and Terry fired gunshots, a .357 caliber, the creature released the calf, stared at them, then walked away. No blood, no drop of injury. The tracks vanished after a mile. Orbs and glowing lights. The Shermans and later investigators reported blue and orange orbs, basketball-sized glowing spheres, sometimes transparent, sometimes emitting sparks, drifting across pastures or hovering over trees. UFO-style objects in black craft, large orange objects, black triangular shapes, things that accelerated upwards at abnormal speeds. Faced with fear, isolation, and unexplained danger, the Shermans decided to leave, and in 1996 the story became public. In 1996, entrepreneur and aerospace enthusiast Robert Bigelow purchased the property for approximately $200,000 via his company and National Institute for Discovery Science. Bigelow's goal? To treat the land as a laboratory for the unexplained. Sensors, ground-penetrating radar, cameras, field logs, and investigations followed. But despite years of investment in technology, no peer-reviewed scientific paper has delivered a definitive explanation. The phenomena claimed at Skinwalker Ranch go beyond typical haunted house or UAP stories. These are anomalies that blur categories. Unseen objects creating magnetic fields or equipment failures, cattle mutilations as described earlier, but also disappearing animals and animals left intact despite gunshots. Orbs of light, orange, blue, transparent, emitting sparks, sometimes seen passing through fences, sometimes blowing out cameras. For example, one ranch neighbor described seeing an orange orb the size of a house floating over his fence line before shooting up into the sky. Another report, the Shermans found that the cows died from unknown causes or vanished altogether, even when no tracks were found. And the bulletproof wolf incident stands out. The creature fought a calf while two men shot at it. It walked away unharmed. These stories combine to form what some call high strangeness, simultaneously cryptozoology, UFO phenomenon, and folklore. Part of what makes the story so compelling is its layering of modern mystery over ancient myth. The Navajo talk of skinwalkers. The Utes speak of lands once sacred and now overshadowed by shapeshifters. One historian suggests the surrounding land may carry a cursed dimension due to forest displacement and sacred ground disruption. Regardless of whether you accept the legends literally or metaphorically, the notion remains: this land holds layered meaning, cultural, spiritual, and anomalous. The ranch's visibility skyrocketed in popular culture. The book Hunt for the Skinwalker in 2005 by Colm Keller and George Knapp brought wide exposure. The TV series The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch premiered in 2020 and follows a team investigating the site's claims in real time. For every startling shot of lights or mutilated livestock, critics point to the absence of independently confirmed public scientific data. So what are the possible explanations? On one side, extraterrestrial visitors, interdimensional gateways, shape-shifting cryptids. The UAP angle suggests visitors from beyond our planet. Another angle, geological or geomagnetic anomalies causing hallucinations, lights, unusual animal behavior, the natural phenomenon school of thought. And then there's the skeptical view, misinterpretations, hoaxes, storytelling, the human tendency to pattern-seek phenomena. In short, after decades, no definitive, publicly accepted scientific explanation has emerged. One journal describes the site as still always in the business of selling belief and hope. Perhaps the mystery of Skinwalker Ranch isn't simply about proof. Perhaps it's about what draws us to the wild, the hope that something beyond us still hides there, unseen, waiting. Whether you lean to extraordinary or stay firmly skeptical, one thing remains clear: this land has captured the imaginations of scientists, storytellers, and dreamers alike. So the question remains: what would it take to turn witness claim into evidence? And if you were standing on that mesa under the night sky, would you feel you were simply looking at landscape or something alive with possibility? Thank you for joining me on this dive into one of America's most confounding mysteries. If you enjoyed this investigation, subscribe for more Journeys into the Unknown. Stay curious.